Hello learners, welcome to the next session on algorithm design. Today we'll look at a new technique that is decrease and conquer. You already seen divide and conquer. This is one of the interesting and the easiest design technique of algorithms. So let us go through it. So the decrease and conquer technique is based on exploiting the relationship between a solution to a given instance of a problem and a solution to the smaller instance of the same problem. That means every iteration of the algorithm will have one portion of the unsolved problem and one portion of the solved problem. So the solution to the same problem, like a solution problem will have two parts, solved part and unsolved part, right? So in the beginning iteration of the algorithms, the unsolved problem instance will be have bigger size than the solved portion of the instance size, right? So in the beginning, unsolved portion will be bigger as compared to solved portion. So as compared to a divide and conquer strategy, the decrease and conquer strategy comes with three versions, where in case of divide and conquer, we don't have any versions, it's only one version. So in case of divide and conquer, what we do, it divides the problem till it cannot be further divisible, and then find the solution for the small instance of the problem, and then integrate the solutions into a total solution for a given problem, right? So this is how the divide and conquer works. But in case of decrease and conquer, we have three different versions to look at. So you have decrease by a constant, you have decrease by constant factor, and you have variable size decrease. So decrease by constant size decreases the size of the instance by a constant which is normally 1. And then decrease by constant factor also, the factor here happens to be half, that is 1 by 2. And the last version, that is variable size decrease, here the instance size is reduced iteration by iteration to a variable size. So it is usually a huge reduction in the input which cannot be predicted beforehand, right? So we look at all these versions with example. So let us start with decrease by constant. So in the decrease by constant variation, the size of an instance is reduced by the same constant on each iteration of the algorithm. And this constant is equal to 1, right? Each iteration, the size will decrease by 1. So let us take an example here. So the best example is a to the power n, which can always be written as a raised to n minus 1 into a, right? So here the relationship is of multiplication, right? So the relationship between a solution to an instance of size n and instance of size n minus 1 is obtained by a raised to n equal to a raised to n minus 1 into a. Now here we are calling exponential, it is nothing but our power function, right? So a raised to n can also be written as, so this is unsolved part and this is solved portion of the problem, right? This is the problem and it has two parts, solved part, unsolved, so unsolved part and solved part. Green indicates solved parts and red indicates the part which is not solved still, right? This can be again further written as a raised to n minus 2 into a square, right? So every time the reduction is of 1. So here we can observe that in the beginning iteration of the algorithm, the unsolved portion is always greater than, is much bigger than the solved portion. So here the reduction, so here is the reduction. Once we take out one of the element of the solution, we no longer revisit this and the size of the problem is reduced by 1. Now, if you have already calculated A, you'll never go and calculate A again, you'll directly go for the A square. Once A square is calculated, you'll directly go for A cube, right? So every time it is reduction of 1. So in short, you can also write it as f of n minus 1 into A if n is greater than 0, and if n is equal to 1, it is 1, because you know anything raised to 0 is 1. Fine. Next, we have this decrease by constant factor. The same example here you can take of the power function. Like if the instance of size n is to compute a raised to n, the instance of half of its size will be to compute a raised to n by 2 with the relationship between the two as a raised to n is equal to a raised to n by 2 whole square. Fine. But since we consider the instance of an exponential problem, that is power function with integer exponents only, This will work only with even n, if the size of n is even. But if the size of n is odd, then you have to take a raised to n minus 1 by 2 whole square into a if n is odd. And if n is 0, it will directly return you as 1. So here you are decreasing the problem statement by constant factor of half, right? It is half of its size, right? So a raised to n is directly reduced to a raised to n by 2. Next, we have variable size decrease. So as size reduction pattern varies from one iteration of an algorithm to another, here in case of variable size decrease, size reduction pattern varies from one iteration of algorithm to another. So best example is Euclid's GCD algorithm for computing the greatest common divisor, right? So here to calculate GCD m comma n, where the solution is given as n comma m mod n, right? Let us take an example of 70 and 50. We want to calculate GCD for these two numbers. So now put it into the formula n of m comma mod n. So what is n here? N is 15. What is m? M is 70, right? So n is 15, m is 70 mod n, that is 70 mod 50. Now what you get? You get 15 modulus of 70 mod 15 is 10. That's the remainder. Fine. Now, if you look at this, in the first iteration itself, 70 is reduced to 10. The drastic reduction, right? 70 is reduced to 10. In the next iteration now, again, you have 15 and 10, right? So now again you have n, m mod n. So now n is 10, m is 15, mod n, that is 10. So now what? 15 is reduced to 5. So variable size decrease, it is size is not fixed here, size is decreased drastically, it is size is decreased little bit lesser than in the first iteration. Now again, in the next iteration, now this is 5, 10 mod 5, what you get it as 0, right? So the algorithm returns 5 as solution, but remember this particular version is applicable only to the problems which are number theoretical problems. You cannot apply this to all the problems. Right? It cannot be applied to all the problems. Next, one of the famous example what is associated with decrease and conquer is insertion sort. Of course, all of us have already studied it or might have taught also to the students. So let us have just a revisit to it, just to refresh it. So it is mostly used when you are playing cards to arrange the cards in a particular fashion, right? So an application of decrease by one technique, decrease by one every time in each iteration, the problem size will be decreased to 1 by decrease by 1. So as I said, in case of decrease and conquer, your problem size is always divided into solved portion and unsolved portion. So in each iteration, unsolved portion will decrease by 1, right? So let us look at an example so the concept will be more clear. So this is an algorithm. Of course, I'll not speak about it. It is very, all are familiar with this, but for I equal to 1 to n minus 1, this is the size of our input, right? V is the container. So whichever item I want to place at a proper position, I'll be storing it in V, right? And J will store the index of the item which is before A of I. So it is I minus 1 index. Mostly we'll be working with indexes here, right? And then we'll be using the loop to carry out the movement of the items, right? So here we are basically doing overwriting. So this is an example. Let's talk about Bharti, and we want to sort this Bharti using insertion sort. Of course, the sorting will be doing ascending order using lexicographic order of the alphabets. Now, we start with B, right? The first element. So we assume the first element is always sorted, right? Then we check the next element, that is H. We store H into the container B, right? And then we compare this with the index J. The index J is what? This is I minus 1, that is J. So we compare B with the container containing H. H is greater than B, so we don't do any movement. We keep H as it is, right? And now you can just see this is your problem statement. This is your problem, right? And This is the part of solved problem and this is part of the unsolved problem. And at each iteration, like in the first iteration, the solved problem increased by 1 and unsolved problem is decreased by 1. The next item you want to put it in a proper position is A. Store it in a container, right? Of course, A is still there, though I kept it blank. It is still there. I just made a copy of it and stored it in a container. Now compare it with H, right? Now, H is greater than A. So what we'll do, we'll shift H, right? So H is shifted here. Now next you compare A with B. B is also greater than A. So now shift B here. B is also shifted and then A is put at its proper position. Fine. A is put at its proper position. Now all these three are sorted. Right. So if you can observe, there is no swapping here. It's lateral movement of the elements which is based on overwriting. So B is already there. Right. It is being overwritten by A. Next, now we take the item as R. Now, put it into the container, that is B. Check it. If it is greater than H, it is not greater than H. It is greater than H, so let it be here. Don't make any movement. Next, so it is already sorted. Next to consider again is A. Put it in a container, compare it with R. R is greater than A, so shift R to the next position. R is shifted here. Fine. Now, once R is shifted here, now compare A with the next item, that is H. H is also greater than A, so shift H. H is shifted. Now compare A with B, right? B is also greater than A, so now what we do, shift B. B is shifted. Now compare A with A, it is equal, so just put A here, right? A will be put here. Now this part is sorted. Fine. Here I have already given the colors indicating sorted, unsorted, and active. Next, what you consider is T. Now again put it into container, compare it with J, that is I minus 1. It is greater than, it is smaller than T, so you don't make any shift. There is no shifting. T will remain at its position. Next, you consider I, put it into the container, compare it with T. Right? T is greater than I. So shift T, T shifted here. Now compare I with R. R is also greater than I, shift R. R is shifted here. Now you compare I with H. H is smaller than I. So just insert H, I here in this position. Now your whole list is solved. Fine. So what you need to observe here is at each iteration, right, the size of solved part of the problem is increasing and size of unsolved problem is decreasing. Fine. Each step it is decreasing by 1. So as the algorithm progresses, the solved problem size increases and unsolved problem size decreases. And here the relationship is compare and insert. Fine. I hope the concept is clear of decrease and conquer. In short, decrease and conquer is what at each iteration, at each step of the algorithm, unsolved part of the problem is decreased by 1 and solved part of the problem is increased by 1, right? But in case of variable size, you cannot predict how much the reduction will be. That is why we say variable size decrease. I hope the concept is clear. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.